So it's been just over a week since we got all of our Amphibia news. This included an air date for Season 2, episode titles, and the announcement of a renewal of the show for a third season. A few days later, there was a press release for the synopses for several of the Disney Channel shows. These included Big City Greens, The Owl House, and also Amphibia. I already went over my thoughts for the Owl House episode, so I thought it would be appropriate to go over the Amphibia episodes as well. But keep in mind, this press release was only for the month of July, so we will have to wait for the synopses for any Disney Channel shows airing in August. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. So first up, we have Handy Ann and Fortin the Road. The synopses are worried that something bad could happen while they are in Utopia, and decides to disaster-proof the farm. And Sprig longs for exotic road trip adventures, but Hop Hop's strict rules threaten to soil all of his fun plans. From Handy Ann, it seems that Newtopia is a destination that has already been set for Ann and the Planters. And since we see Sprig holding the Calamity Box in the Season 2 poster, I would guess that Hop Hop may come clean in this episode before they set out for Newtopia. Or at the very least, he digs it back up himself and brings it with on their journey. And considering the events that transpired in Reunion, it would make sense why Anne would want to fortify the farm in case Sasha and the Toads come looking for the Planters. For Fortin the Road, I see this as being more comedic than Handy Ann. Since by episode 2 we are already setting out for Newtopia, we're going to have to get through plot regarding plans to travel to Newtopia, the Calamity Box, and fortifying the farm, and probably some goodbyes to those in Wyrtwood. And all of this is going to be handled in 11 minutes, so it will probably be a heavier episode. So to ease some of that tension, having a more laid-back, fun episode with Sprig trying to go on crazy adventures and Hop Hop continually telling him to stop sounds like a lot of potential for comedic moments. The next two episodes are the Ballot of Hopadiah Planter and Ann Hunter. Hop Hop's efforts to be hailed as a hero among some small townsfolk backfires when he stands up to the wrong family. When the family is in danger, Anne must put her self-consciousness aside in order to learn the true way of the hunter. With the Ballad of Hopadiah Planter, we do have two guest stars, Jennifer Lewis and Keith Ferguson, as Mama Hasselback and Judro Hasselback. Based on the synopsis, I wouldn't be surprised if these two end up being the family that Hop Hop tries to stand up to. I'm interested to see this episode because in Reunion we know that Hop Hop is being hailed as a revolutionary across the valley. So we might get an opportunity here for Hop Hop to actually embrace this pedestal that he's been placed on, though as we can tell from the synopsis, things don't seem to go as planned. Overall, I'm excited to see this episode, especially because it means we'll get to see other towns and inhabitants of Amphibia outside of Wyrtwood. Ann Hunter I can see being more character development for Anne. Since it seems like the Planters are going to be out of the picture for this episode, that's going to give time for Anne to be the focus. I could even see aspects of what Anne learns from hunting in this episode coming into play later because, come on, Anne is more than likely going to have to square off with Sasha and the Toads again at some point. The last two episode synopses that we have are Truck Stop Polly and A Caravan Named Desire. Feeling underappreciated by her family, Polly hatches a plan to make them pay attention to her. Hop Hop signs the family up to join a traveling theater troupe hoping to realize his dream of being an actor. I could see Truck Stop Polly being similar to A Night at the Inn, where Polly is being underestimated and babied only for her to end up being the hero and the one to save everybody in the end. Although I have a feeling that Polly's plan isn't exactly going to pan out well, and will most likely get herself and everyone else into trouble, so she might end up just saving everybody from her own plan. Regardless, Polly is probably my least favorite character in the show, mostly due to her just being comic relief, so I'm always excited to see episodes revolving around her because I do want to like her more as a character. Lastly, A Caravan Named Desire. This episode title is actually a play on words of the play A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. The actual subject matter of the play itself is pretty dark and mature, so I don't see them reenacting A Streetcar Named Desire in the episode. One of my favorite tropes in TV shows are theater or play episodes. I always find them hilarious. I just think seeing these characters we know having to act offers a lot of comedic opportunities. However, the best theater or play trope episode goes to Avatar: The Last Airbender with the Ember Island players because that episode was perfection. Now, none of these synopses mention anything about Anne and the Planters arriving in Newtopia. The way I feel this season will be paced is that we'll get Anne and the Planters leaving at the end of Handy Anne or at the start of Fort in the Road. The next episodes will be the group on their road trip to Newtopia, meeting new characters along the way, and discovering new areas of Amphibia. Once we hit episode 10, which would technically be episode 19 and 20 since these are 11 minutes long, I feel we'll get to Newtopia. Looking back at season 1, the mid-season finale was Toad Tax and Jailbreak, which really set up Sasha as a character and set up the plot for the Frogs versus Toads conflict. So I see them doing something similar here with season 2, but this time around we get introduced to Marcy and the Newts. Newtopia has been teased a lot in the promotional images for the show, and this place, just based off the art alone, seems like an incredible location in Amphibia. So I see the first half of season 2 being the journey, and then the second half getting the chance to fully explore the new characters and location of Newtopia. Overall, I am incredibly excited for the second season of Amphibia. The show has been on hiatus for almost a year now, so there's been lots of anticipation for the show's return. And based on what we've gotten so far, it seems like there's plenty to look forward to as Anne continues her search to find a way home. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time, guys, take care.